Hello and welcome to lesson 4. In this lesson, we're going to talk about your app description. What should you include? Why is the app description important? And the best practices that you should be using. Okay, so there are some differences between the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. So let's take a look at them individually. First of all, in the Apple App Store, you want to make sure that the first 3 lines of your description grabs the person's attention or gives them the most important information. We'll look at a couple examples in a minute, but remember that when people view your listing, either on iTunes or online, they're just going to see those first 3 lines. And if they want to read more, then they're going to have to click on the More link. So you want to make sure those first 3 lines tell them everything they need to know right away. It's kind of like a newspaper article where they put the most important information at the top. So think of it that way. Keep in mind that keywords are not taken from the description, but they might do that sometime in the near future. Then you want to break up the text, make it easy to read, use bullets, use paragraph spacing. And this can also help you highlight the main features of your app. The Apple App Store app description has a 4,000 character limit, so be sure to use as many of those characters as possible because this can work as a long form sales letter. And generally speaking, the longer the sales letter, the more effective it is. And finally, if you have a paid app, you're going to need a much better description than if you have a free app. Because if you have a free app, people don't really care. They're just going to download it. But if you have a paid app, people are going to be a lot more cautious about what they download. And keep in mind, with all app descriptions, this is kind of your last chance to convince the person to download your app. So don't overlook this part of your app's page. Now, here are a few examples from the Apple App Store. As you can see, with some app descriptions, you can see 3 lines. And with other app descriptions, you can see 5 lines. So just to be safe, make sure that your best 3 lines are at the top. Here's an example of app description formatting where using bullets can really break up the text and make it much easier to read. Now let's move on to the Google Play Store. On the Play Store, as you probably remember from the keywords lesson, Google takes the keywords from the app description. So it's very important that you put your keywords in there and make sure that the sentences flow. You don't want to just keyword stuff the whole description. Play Store also has a 4,000 character limit, and you also want to grab the person's attention right at the beginning. One thing you can experiment when it comes to Google Play app descriptions is the keyword density. I have seen really short descriptions do really well because even though they only mentioned the keyword once, it was very keyword dense. And I've also seen very long descriptions do very well. So experiment and see what works best for your app. One easy way to find keywords that other apps are using is to use the find function on your browser. That's either Command F or Control F, and it'll highlight all of the keywords in that description, and you can see the keyword density. Google also allows you to use emoji and rich text formatting in your app's description. So you should use that because it makes your description more interesting and it draws attention to the most important points of your description. And just like other aspects of ASO, be sure to check out what your competition is doing and see what's working for them. And again, the longer sales letter format might work better, but experiment and see what the results are for your app. Paid apps will need a much better description than free apps. So if you have a paid app, be sure to make your description extra good. Okay, here's an example of a Play app description that has emoji and rich text formatting. As you can see, the emoji at the top blowing the heart draws attention to the fact that you will love this app. And the star at the bottom highlights some of the great features of the app. Okay, just to do a quick review here. Remember that on the App Store, keywords are not taken from the description, so you don't need to be too careful about that. Grab the person's attention in the first 3 lines and format the description to make it easier to read. On the Play Store, same thing. Make sure that the first 5 lines grab the person's attention. Keywords are pulled from the description, so be sure to include them. And use emoji and rich text formatting to make the description more appealing. Alright, so that's everything you need to know about app descriptions. I'll see you in the next lesson.